Good afternoon. I'm Ed Clark with Watt Media, and I am here today with Giovanni Gasperoni, Executive Vice President, Sales and Marketing with Novus International. Mr. Gasperoni, how quickly do you believe that we can see some major feed efficiencies in animal agriculture around the world? And how important is that to increasing the amount of food that people have available, particularly in the lower tier countries of income?
This is an interesting question. First of all, thanks for for having me here. We have different efficiency in terms of how we produce and we convert feed into food around the world. I think that is very important to have that baseline, that assessment. The other part, I think we can improve by increasing the effectiveness of management and feeding the animals at least 10-15% in the Asian part of the world, and perhaps less, 5%, 8%. And it depends, it varies obviously by country, but more on the old world and the Americas. So it's as we talk about in terms of education, in another time we met, is one part is educating the people how to feed the best the animal, and the other part is how to manage the best the animal around the world. So one is you need to train a lot of people, the management side. The feeding side is to educate the fewer people but spread around the globe.
An issue that I know is important to you, and I think it's important for you to talk to us about today, is your views of how we can feed the world with safe food versus food desires for the elite who maybe want organic or want other kinds of food that is that they would like to see regulated on the masses. What are your views of that?
Indeed, this is one of my favorite topics. You can divide the world in the 6.2 billion people in different brackets, if you wish. The last two brackets, the ones that have $350 of disposable income per year, or the one that they have $3,000, which is the second tier, those are the ones that are really at the level of starvation, or just a little above the starvation level. And those are the people that don't have a voice. And their area where we put more and more regulation are the ones in the Western world, the Americas and the European, where the disposable income is much higher than the one that I cited before. The other part of the issue here is who has the loudest voice. And unfortunately, the ones that have the loudest voice are the ones that can afford 6 eggs at $3.25, unlike the other that can afford perhaps only the 95 cents per 6 eggs. So what I'm saying is, and also on the organic side, that the percentage of organic food produced and consumed in the United States is just half of the percentage of the global food that is produced in North America alone. So I respect the taste and the desire and the marketing strategy of all the different company and the consumer. But at the same token, I just want to make sure that the people that have less disposable income have the possibility to access affordable food. And definitely the people that have the possibility to spend more should not be the one dictating how the poor will eat in the years to come. And this is very important because the disposable income is growing very according to the growth of the economy in the world. So we need to make sure that we are not creating an exponential escalation of the cost of food, and the ones that we can afford the food is only fewer people instead of more people. So the topic that we are discussing here at the World Agricultural Forum is very pertinent, because as we getting more and more concerned about the 9 billion people that we will perhaps have in 2050, so in the next 30 years, I'm really concerned about the urgency of making sure that we have food available for everybody in the world today. That is the major concern that I have. And when I see the issue, and when I see the decision that they are taking in the Western world, Those are the decisions that are in fact affecting the people that less disposable income, forcing them to eat less quality of food and less quantity of food.
One important issue for animal agriculture is how to feed animals in such a way that will allow us to reduce pollutants and to increase feeding efficiency. And I know that as a company, Novus is heavily involved in this. Could you explain to us how this can be accomplished?
Yes, we do. This is really something that we are doing on a constant basis with all the sales people, the technical people, and the R&D people that we have in our organization. It's an education mission. It's an education mission in the sense you need to work with different parts of their companies that we are dealing with, our customers, the 3,000 customers that we have around the world, and working with them, understanding their reality, because animal agriculture is different in different parts of the world. So you need to have a very deep knowledge of what's happening at the local level, and working with your customers, try to see their side of the equation, but by the same time see how we can improve upon the baseline that they have, what they are currently doing. And you have a simpler diet, if you wish, in North America and in Brazil, corn soy-based diet. So you need to work with them in terms of a digestible amino acid, total amino acid, a ratio energy versus amino acid, and at the same time management, ventilation, type of direction or structure of the houses that they have, renovation of the houses, transportation, and so forth. When you go to the other parts of the world, when you go to less developed countries like China, Thailand, India, or Africa or Sub-Saharan Africa, they all have different type of challenges. Is by knowing those challenges, by help them in exchanging best practice or improving the practice that they have. That is how you will get to a more efficient way of feeding the animals. Also, the understanding is very important because certainly in certain parts of the world, again in Asia, especially the integration is not has not arrived yet. So the full integration. So where are the cost centers? This is something that we cannot disregard today. Today in China, people are buying feed and they want to have cheap feed. And these are the free feed mills or feed mills that are selling free feed in China, and there is no complete integration. But as the animal agriculture, industrialized animal agriculture is moving toward, even in those countries, toward a more and more industrialized, and this is just related to an evolution of the industry and the health control. They will get there, there has been the same evolution in animal agriculture over and over, and started from the United States and moved into Europe and the States, and then moved to Latin America, South America, especially Brazil, and now is coming into China, happened in Thailand before, and it will go in full circle when we will get into Africa.
How do you look at the next 5 years in terms of increases in animal protein consumption around the world?
Animal production, we monitor the animal production every year. This is really part of our job, to understand the mapping of all the different type of production, from chicken, eggs, and all the way to milk and pork and beef. On average, and aqua, which is very important. On average, beside aqua, which is the one growing the fastest, maybe 5-6% companion annual growth rate, and we see this definitely for the next 5 years. All the other meat will grow between 2% and 3% as the growth of population will continue, and also driven off the growth of per capita income. Now, this will be in the next 5 years. We will have a little dip in our growth because we see our financial crisis, how severe is the current financial crisis. So population will continue to grow, which is one of the drivers, and the second one being the income. So in general, protein will be on average 2%, and you will see chicken going perhaps 2.3, 2.5%. Although today is very, very slow, and other type of meat like beef and pork growing a little slower.